It's a Sunday. There is a tropical storm headed here in 2 days. And I got a message from the guy who does the lawn care for the association on Thursday saying, hey, they want it fixed. So this is a stormwater retention pond. Stormwater comes in from up there. I'll show you one of the issues. And it's supposed to flow out of here at a certain rate. That you can see there's a hole here. One of the issues I saw back in the fall is that water is getting out through here. Now that's bad because this wall meets this culvert at that location. So water, if you don't know, water will always find a way. It was blocked there. It ate away at whatever joined these two surfaces together and has trickled out through there. You can actually see the shadow. There's quite a bit of material missing there. Now, what I didn't see in the fall when I first talked about this with the association, and I don't know if I didn't see it or if these are new, but there are cracks along the concrete, probably from the pressure that this water has put. So there's one long crack, and you can see by the algae that's growing there. There's one here. There's one right above that spot, and you can see that the crack runs all along here. There's a crack here, down to some wet areas here. Oh, look at that. Where water is seeping out. Whatever gauge metal that is has a bow to it. It is bowed inward. So the neglect of this pond has led to the compromise of this structure. And in my estimate, I put about 17 different disclaimers saying this is an emergency repair ahead of the storm. The only thing it's going to do is we're going to lower the level. We're going to clean it up so that those things can drain properly. It's probably going to clog up again because of the situation here at the pond, the trash, the vegetation. You still could have a minor or catastrophic failure even after I do this repair. It's not doing anything but solving the problem of this thing being blocked. So within a couple of minutes of me sending an estimate that I was certain they would turn down due to the price, they had it approved. Partly because it is an emergency situation. But the other thing, I'll show you over here, these are backing up the storm drains and the residents are starting to complain. This is a shot of the pond for a before, and I know you've never seen this pond before, so you don't have any reference, but I used to maintain this property for about 1.5 years before I turned it over to the guy who does it now. And this is high, and it's not supposed to be this high. It's supposed to drain out. So this is the main storm drain that feeds that pond, and you can see all that's trash floating on top of water. Not as much trash over there. But this water has nowhere to go. So I was here servicing the property almost a week ago, a residential client of mine right down the street, and this thing was almost to the grates. We'd had some more rain, and so there was more water in the system. But this is what had people complaining and saying you got to do something about it. And that's why I'm here on a Sunday on an emergency call. So this is a multiquip 2-inch dewatering pump. I think it does a little over 200 gallons a minute. Depending on where you get it, it's anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 for one of these. Our first step is to go ahead and prime it. To do that, we just remove this port. We're going to fill it up with water. So we're starting to come out of our outlet here and our inlet, so we know we've got enough in there. Another thing to note, this is a dirty water pump or a trash pump, which means that, if I'm not mistaken, since it's a 2-inch pump, you could actually have solid material up to 1 inch thick pass through this, and you would not be hurting anything. Next, we have our discharge hose to hook up. We are going to run this hose down into there. That's where this is all supposed to be draining to. We have a dewatering bag. So this basically traps all the solids. So we're going to put the discharge hose through there, tie it off. The water will come out, the solids will stay. That was a terrifying noise. It was just the gate shutting. Now for the next part, we're hooking up our suction hose. This thing is rigid, so it can't collapse on itself. And these are cam lock fittings. So these guys, you just latch those on and they mate to the other part. One end of this hose has a strainer that goes into the water, but it's just got a female thread. So you get an adapter, screw that on, then this can go on one end of your suction line. So that strainer fits on there. Then we'll just pop our cam locks like that. You've got these little cotter pins so you can lock those things on if you wanted to, but nothing's gonna mess with them where I'm at. So this is the end that'll go in the water, and this is the end that'll attach to the pump, except our pump doesn't have a cam lock end. So that's what this fitting is for. We've got a female 2-inch that will thread onto the suction line of this pump. And then from there, we'll go ahead and attach that on, and lock it in with our cams. Then we'll just run our suction line from here into here. So it's draining, but it's still pretty slow. We're just gonna give it a little help if we can. So that's supposed to be the level. It's supposed to drain out past that. And I had a neighbor come tell me it was above this flooding over. So it's no wonder why this wall's cracked and failing. You gotta be kidding me. There was a cup blocking it. This cup plugged it up perfectly. All right, the grate's back on, that's fixed. All right, so the next day here we are. You can see how much lower this pond is by where all that dried up algae is. I think it is still draining, so probably by tomorrow morning it'll be done draining itself, just in time for the tropical storm. We're down to just a trickle.